Good morning, guys. Hope that you've got wonderful weather there wherever you're at. This is once again another bright sunny day here, and we're actually going to have temperatures about 70, which is decent. But yep, it's very beautiful outside once again. So let's go on ahead and start reading. Problem foods and problem times. God made your taste buds. He made you, and He designed you to have likes and dislikes. He knows what your preferences are. So do not be afraid to have favorites, even if they sound as if they are fattening. Do you have a particular favorite food that you seem to have struggled with more than others? What is it? Chocolate? Donuts? Homemade bread? It is not unusual for a particular food to be one that involves years of conflict. Maybe it is a food that you have more passion about, maybe one that you have binged on before. You may even find that you can wait for hunger before eating the chocolate, but then stopping is harder. You want to eat it all. Let me reassure you that you can indeed rise above this passion for food too. You actually have two choices as to how to approach conquering this trigger food. First of all, and the trigger food you put in parentheses. Not parentheses, but quotation marks. First of all, be reassured that there are no trigger foods, in the sense that some foods can turn something on inside you and make you lose control. Control is all in the heart of a person, and you do have a choice. Do not be afraid. Let us use chocolate candy bars as an example. One method of reassurance would be to go and buy a bag of candy bars and keep them in your pantry. Take some to work with you and have one every time you are hungry. Your body, as you know, will begin to seek a variety and will put an end to the affection quickly. The only problem with this approach for some people is that every time they eat one of the candy bars, they eat another, then another, then another, until they have overeaten. It is not that they cannot stop, but they will not. Will and cannot, they're both italicized. Believe me, they listen to every lie imaginable to keep eating. Oh, they will tempt me, so I had better finish them off. I have said that. I have said, man, I better get these out of the house. I'm just going to go on ahead and finish them up, be done with it. Everyone else will come in and eat them soon. I felt like that when I lived in Kentucky with my ex-husband. So I had better have one more before they are all gone. Like there were no more candy bars at the store. This is the route selected by one Ray Down Workshop participant to conquer her trigger for pedestal food. Once again, trigger is in parentheses, or quotation marks rather. Since she did not trust herself to buy a whole bag of candy bars, she would buy only one at a time. Now, realize that she never denied herself a candy bar any time a candy bar was what she really wanted when she was hungry. She just did not have them sitting around tempting her. She would go to the store, buy her favorite kind, walk away, and then really enjoy that one candy bar. The next time she wanted a candy bar, she would go buy another and enjoy it too. After a while, she got up the courage to buy half a dozen. She realized that if she put them in the freezer until she wanted another one, they would keep and they tasted great. You see, she was beginning to trust. It was not much longer until she could buy a whole bag and not eat them all. Even at work, they had a snack machine. She began to notice that sometimes she just did not want one. Now they are like any other food to her. They are still good, but they just do not have that pedestal beneath them. If she wants one, she will have one. But to be honest, she is not sure when the last time was. So that right there is a good testimony. At one time, she ate them regularly when she wanted one, and now she's to the point that sometimes she just doesn't want them. And she doesn't remember the last time she ate one. So that's pretty cool. I'm like that. Sometimes I just don't want any kind of sweet with my meal. I don't want any kind of dessert. Don't even want a soda. It's just whenever I need a little bit of sweet. Another helpful tip is to keep a box to put your food in. This is a very elementary idea, but it could be a physiological breakthrough. Get a box and write your name on it. Place one in the pantry, one in the refrigerator, and one in the freezer. This is your property, and no one else in the house can touch the food in your box. Some participants actually open the package of cookies as they unload the newly purchased groceries and put some in a plastic bag for themselves. The family can have the rest of the package that they place in the pantry. This works well for the person who lives in fear that, if I don't eat it now, it will be gone. For some, it is a lack of trust in God to provide, and for some, this lack of trust stems from growing up in a household where this eat it or it is gone phenomenon actually occurred. If fear that the food will be gone is driving you to eat when you are not hungry, then eliminate the source of the fear until you can have the confidence that food really is available abundantly, and, more importantly, that God loves to feed you and will never let you starve. Do not be afraid to be caught without food. Take it with you. Keep it in your car, your purse, or your desk at work. Then you can sit back and relax, knowing something good is there if you need it. Food is everywhere. What about holiday meals? It is Thanksgiving. Yeah, Thanksgiving is next week, right? And you fear you will not get this kind of food again for a whole year. That is simply not true. Who says you cannot buy a turkey and cook it on a different day than Thanksgiving? You can even cook one in July. Or even better, go to a cafeteria-style restaurant and order some. They serve chicken and dressing or turkey and dressing all year long. What law states you have to eat wedding cake at a reception because you might not get any for a long time? A bakery would be happy to bake a cake for you to take home and eat a slice each time you are hungry. You may become sick of it before it is all gone. What about Aunt Tilly's cherry salad on Christmas Day? Now you know you get that only once a year. Ask for the recipe. She will probably be flattered, and then you can make it as often as you like. There is no food and no occasion that should cause you to eat outside of the context of hunger. God knows your favorites. Be a little more patient and let Him indulge you with them under His rules. Hunger and fullness. And do not be afraid that God's watch is broken or that He has forgotten about you. He is very attentive. I love that He is too. I really am. I love that He's very attentive. It's wonderful knowing that He is. So how do you transfer your passion? This is in phase 2 now. How do you transfer your passion? There are 2 things you need to know to help with this realignment. Number 1 is to open your eyes to what a life-sucking leech the God of food is, and what a life replenisher is the one true God. Number 2, practically speaking, is a crash course on how to fall in love with God. Exposing the false God. Let us start by exposing this master, this friend called food. Just how good of a friend has excessive food been to us? Note, our daily allotted food is not a false god. We are referring to excessive food. Does overeating help our finances? No, it robs us. It is expensive to keep eating extra calories every day. Diet programs have emptied our savings accounts as well. Does it help us with our clothing? No. We tend to find less and less to wear as we find ourselves obeying food more and more. Does it help us with our self-esteem? No. The more the excess of food is a friend to us, the more it gathers on our hips and in other locations of the body, and the more our self-esteem drops. Does it help us with our relationships? No, it seems to put a wedge between us and our families or spouses. Now she put up a photo here. The all crooked one that's not perfect. That's the false god. And then here, this is the one of God. Perfect pillar. The false god pillar reads food, alcohol, love of money, drugs, power, pleasure, self-approval of people, worldly concerns. False gods are parasitic leeches that rob you of your time, passion, money, devotion, peace, and self-esteem. These false gods leave you with increasing troubles, guilt, emotional exhaustion, increasing physical ailments, and emptiness of soul. What have these gods done for you? And then on the perfect pillar, Yahweh, the Lord Almighty, our true, awesome Heavenly Father, wonderful God, I am who I am, creator, genius, perfect artist, organizer, coordinator, physician, comforter, financier, provider, counselor, prince of peace, perfect lawyer, architect, ruler, king of kings, life giver, and rescuer from troubles. When you give your time, heart, soul, mind, strength, and passion to the true God, not only does he not rob you, he takes it and gives it back 100-fold. Matthew 19:29. Extra food turns out to be a false friend and a parasitic leech that robs us of our time, passion, money, devotion, peace, and self-esteem. It is a false master, a false friend, or a false god that leaves us with increasing troubles, guilt, emotional deprivation, and physical ailments. Look at the irony. We have been running to the refrigerator for comfort. In figure 13.2, there is a statue of a false god and a column that represents our true God. We need to evaluate ourselves this week and every week from here on. What percentage of time have we been running to God? And what percentage have we been running to the refrigerator or any false god? Time is a great indicator of what we give our heart to. As has already been pointed out, God has it all and is very generous to hearts that love him. You may not really believe he is there and is that personal, but what if he is and you have just missed it? It is time to give him a try if you have not already. If you run to him for everything, you will be rewarded with great dividends or jewels. This way you can prove that he exists and rewards those who diligently seek him. And without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Hebrews 11:6. Running to God for comfort and solutions makes sense. Do you need a counselor? He knows all truth, and his word is a light unto your path. Do you need a friend? He is the God of all comfort. Are you low in money? Need your roof fixed or your car repaired? I have seen some pretty incredible things happen through prayer. Are you looking for excitement? His kingdom is dynamic. There is nothing that he cannot do. He sometimes uses people to solve the problem, and sometimes he does not. He is creative, and you will know it is from him. It's marvelous. It's very marvelous. Serving God and having him in our life. It's marvelous. The passion that he gives to us, even when we screw up, even when we mess up. And he still loves us. He still forgives us. And he still helps us. It's when we don't cry out to him, it's when we don't put our trust in him that we start failing, that we start falling short. But we just simply need to keep our eyes on him and let him take care of the rest. It's a wonderful thing knowing that he's right there whenever we need him. But what's even more wonderful is knowing that he's there even if we don't ask for him. Because he's, I guess you can say he's on standby. When we are involved with other matters in our life and we're not exactly talking to him or turning to him, we're just so busy with other matters in our lives, and yet he's right there patiently waiting for us to call him, for us to say, hey God, And it's great knowing that He's right there, that He'll never leave us or forsake us. No matter what we're doing in this life, He will never leave us or forsake us. And that is such a relief and a great knowledge, knowing He's there. Sometimes when it feels like He's distant, and He's not distant. He's not distant. He's still right there. But what makes it seem like He's distant from us is because we have distanced ourselves from Him. It's not that He has left. It's not that He's walked away. It's that we have gotten so involved with other stuff that we have distanced ourselves from Him. So we need to be rest assured He's still right there, even when we feel like He's not anywhere near. We need to be rest assured He's still right there, and for us to just turn around and draw right back to Him and trust that He's listening and that He knows what you're going through. And we just keep reaching for Him until we touch Him. Just keep reaching until we touch Him. Sometimes it might take an hour, it might take all day, it might take 2 days, it might take a week. But we just keep pushing until we touch Him again. Because He's right there waiting for us. He's right there. But we need to reach out for Him. And when we start to reach out for Him, He'll reach right back and He'll take us by the hand. I love knowing He's right there. I love it. I love knowing it. And I need Him in so many different ways. And the way I feel, when I feel depressed, or when I feel lonely, or when my heart is aching about something, or even when I'm happy about something, when something great has happened. You know, I even want to tell God it's wonderful, you know. I want to thank Him for it. But no matter what I'm feeling, He wants to hear it. Even though He knows, He still wants to hear it. He wants to hear it come from you. He wants you to open up and share what's on your mind, what's on your heart to Him. He already knows it, but He wants to hear you tell Him, because He loves the sound of your voice. He loves the sound of your voice, and He loves knowing that you want to lean on Him. You want to trust Him. He loves that. He loves that. He wants very much to just wrap His arms around us and hold us close. He loves it. He loves it when we open up to Him. No matter if He knows or not, He loves it when we open up to Him. And that is so peaceful. Before I go to bed at night, I tell Him that I thank Him for helping me once again another day, that He's continuing to reteach me and retrain me when to eat and when to stop. I thank Him every night for Him helping me throughout my day, whatever it is that I've gotten into. I tell Him what may be bothering me, or I tell Him, the things that happen throughout the day and how I feel about such and such. I thank Him for my husband, and then I tell him I love him. I blow him a kiss and tell him good night, Daddy. And I'm able to go right to sleep after I talk to him. So, you know, and it's important to me to be able to get to talk to Him before I go to bed. That I used to do that a lot in Kentucky, and I had strayed away from doing that. And so in the last going on 2 months, I've picked it back up again, and I had actually forgotten how wonderful it is to talk to Him a little before I go to bed. I forgot just how wonderful it is, and I'm being reminded. I enjoyed it then, and I enjoy it now. Even on nights that my husband is home when he's not at work, I'll tell him I'm going on to bed, and he says, "Oh, stay up with me," and I'll tell him, I got to give God some time. So, you know, sometimes you got to tell your spouse, look, I need to give God some time too, right? Sometimes we got to tell them. So, yeah, I love being in love with my Father, and I want to grow even deeper in love with Him. I want to grow even deeper in love with Him, and I don't want to let Him go for anything. I may screw up, I may end up doing and saying things that isn't exactly me or isn't exactly proper at the time, but I know that He forgives me. And after He's forgiven me, all I got to do is just ask for Him to forgive me, and then I move on and just trust Him to help me go in the right path, to go the right way, so that I don't keep screwing up on the same thing again. But I've got to trust Him. I've got to know He's there and that He forgives me. So it's wonderful being able to serve Him and know that He's on my side, that He's there for me, that He's helping me, that He's strengthening me in any area of my life that I need Him to strengthen me in. And that includes my eating. As long as I trust Him and I wait for true hunger and I stop when I'm full. This is day 84. There's just 6 days left before day 90. It is coming down to a draw, and I so look forward to making that video. Oh my goodness, I look forward to making that video. It's a patient game, a very patient game. I just keep on doing what I know I gotta do. Eating when hungry and stopping when full. Keep trusting Him. Keep putting my life into His hands and patiently wait for day 90 when I get to do that video. And from there on out. And I've decided that after day 90, I'm going to change the title of my Kicking It series to My Journey Through the Ray Down. Because, you know, like the Kicking It, more or less, was, even though I'd been using the Ray Down, even at the first 2 months, only halfway doing the Ray Down and still kind of screwing up, and yet I was losing weight. And the Kicking It was referring to exercise, not just eating through the Ray Down, not just eating, you know, but it had a lot to do with the exercise. The Kicking It was referring to exercise, basically. And so I'm after day 90, I am going to exercise. I'm going to resume exercise. The only reason why I've gone these 30 days without exercise is to prove that even without exercise, you can lose weight during the Ray Down. So after the 90 days is up, after this 30 days is up, I am going to resume exercise, but it may not be on a daily basis. Some mornings I may do some body shaping exercises and walk when the weather is up to it, of course. The way it's going right now, the temperatures are getting lower, so I probably won't be doing any walking, but at least do floor exercises inside so that I'm at least body shaping, you know, like push-ups, planks, whatever. And do that a few times a week maybe, and then again maybe not. It's just according to if I want to exercise or not. But I'm going to continue eating the way that I'm supposed to, putting my trust in God and waiting for hunger and stopping at full. And I'm going to continue reading the Ray Down. And after I get finished with the book altogether, I may start over and start from page 1 and read it through again for any newcomers, who hasn't heard any of the book yet. But then again, I might not. I might wait a month and then start over again on it. I don't know. It's according to what the Holy Ghost leads me to do. It's all according to what He leads me to do. But anyway, after day 90, I am going to change the title to My Journey Through the Way Down. And that's what it is. It's a journey. It's a journey. And that's what I'm going to do. Exercise will be on occasion, but it's not going to be the first priority. So that's just what's coming up. So that is it for today, guys. I love yins. I will see yins tomorrow. Have a great day.